the Hollow Ward. The 8th floor of St. Lilith Memorial Hospital had been closed for 31 years. Staff spoke of it in hushed tones, like it was a memory too painful or shameful to bear. No patients were admitted there, and no lights were ever seen from the hall's dusty windows. But on a rain-lashed night in November, Nurse Clara Monroe was assigned to it. She didn't understand the sudden change. One moment she was working a regular shift on the cardiac wing, and the next, she was summoned to the charge nurse's desk and handed a plain manila folder. Inside were floor keys, an outdated staff roster, and a short memo that simply read, "Temporary coverage. Observe only. Do not move patients. Do not engage." Clara blinked at the paper. "Excuse me, this can't be right," she said. "There's no one on the 8th floor. It's been shut down." "Tonight it isn't," the charge nurse replied without looking up. "You're to stay there until 6 a.m. Report anything unusual, that's all." Report to who? But the charge nurse had already walked away. Clara took the ancient elevator up, the fluorescent light flickering above her head. The doors groaned open to reveal a hallway drowned in shadow. The overhead lights were dim and cast a sickly green glow across yellowed walls. The air smelled like mildew and something metallic, blood maybe. The floor was silent. No nurses, no orderlies, no hum of life support or paging beeps. Only 8 rooms lined the corridor. Each door was slightly ajar. Her heart began to thump in her chest as she stepped out. "This is a joke," she whispered, but something in her gut told her otherwise. The silence had weight, density. Like the air was thicker here, it felt watched. At the abandoned nurses' station, Clara found a weathered binder left open. Each page listed a patient with a room number. Room 801, Henry Bellows, catatonic schizophrenia. Room 802, Marie Laska, dissociative identity disorder. Room 803, Owen Feldman, paranoid delusions. Room 804, Eliza Greer, self-inflicted injuries. Room 805, Dr. Malcolm Hurst, suicidal ideation. Room 806, NA Room 807, NA Room 808, observation only. Clara's eyes lingered on Room 808. No name, just a warning. Observation only, same as the memo. As she flipped through more pages, she noticed all files stopped abruptly on the same date, October 13th, 1994, the night the ward was shut down. She heard a soft creak behind her and turned quickly, but the hall was empty. At 12:17 a.m., Clara heard whispering. It wasn't coming from the walls or vents, but seemed to drift in from multiple rooms. Muted voices, pleading, repeating the same lines. "Let me out. It's still here. He won't let us leave." She gripped her flashlight and stepped toward room 801. Inside, the bed was neatly made. No sign of a patient. But then, as her light passed the corner, she saw it. A shadow sitting on the edge of the bed. Not a person. A human-shaped void, darker than the darkness around it. As the light hit it, it vanished. Not fled. Evaporated, like smoke under a beam. Clara backed out, shaking. Room 806 was the only one locked. When Clara tried the handle, it rattled but refused to budge. Curious, she peeked through the small window, only to see pitch black. Not dim lighting, pure, oppressive black. Something knocked back. She jumped, heart pounding, and stepped away. As she turned, she noticed the door to room 808 was now wide open. She was sure it had been shut. Inside 808 was a single bed under a flickering light. On the walls, someone had scratched words in long looping letters. He never left. It's still his, not the patient. the doctor. On the nurse's station desk was an old VHS tape labeled Dr.Hurst, Session 43. The player in the lounge still worked. Clara slid the tape in, and static filled the screen. Then, an image. A man in a white coat, face pale, eyes hollow, sitting across from an unseen patient. "Tell me what you see at night." A woman's voice responded, trembling to the tape with shaking fingers. At 2:53 a.m., the fire alarm triggered. But there was no fire. Instead, Clara found the walls of room 803 dripping red, streaks of something thick and warm running like blood down the paint. A figure crouched in the corner, rocking back and forth. She inched closer, only to realize it was herself, her own form, wearing her uniform, crying into her hands. "Who are you?" she whispered. The double looked up. Its eyes were hollow voids, mouth a black pit that stretched wide. It shrieked. The lights burst. When she blinked again, the room was empty. Clara fled to the records room and yanked open drawers. She found files for all patients, except Dr. Hurst, who apparently had been committed as a patient after a breakdown. He'd killed 3 staff members during a therapy session before vanishing. He wasn't found. He wasn't declared dead. The 8th floor was shut down the next day. Room 808 wasn't an observation room for him. It was his cell. By 4 a.m., Clara heard footsteps behind her, no matter where she went. Her own reflection in windows no longer matched her. In a mirror near room 802, she saw herself smiling, even as she screamed. She tried the elevator. Power outage. The stairwell door wouldn't budge. The lights began to fail, one by one, plunging the ward into an unnatural twilight. In the dark, she heard it. A voice, whispering from every corner. "I never left. They locked me away, but I went deeper. Now you're mine." Back in room 808, Clara found a crude circle carved into the floor, a ritual etched with dried blood. At the center, a decayed doctor's coat lay like a shroud. The shadow figure stood behind her, tall, malformed, still wearing a name badge. Dr. Malcolm Hurst. "You'll do," he rasped. Clara screamed, but the door slammed shut. At exactly 6 a.m., the charge nurse found the elevator unlocked and functioning. She sent up an orderly to retrieve Clara. The 8th floor was empty, all rooms bare, no furniture, no files, no signs anyone had been there in decades. On the wall near room 808, in fresh red letters, "Clara is here now." If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps a lot and lets me keep making more interesting content for you.